Hello and welcome to Morris Park. I'm Clyde Morris, and today I'm going to finish up my Euphorbia tour with part 5. And as you can see, fall is really coming on here. Our trees are really starting to drop their leaves now. I think the colors are kind of going past now. But yeah, fall is progressing pretty quick, and I'd say we'll get our first hard freeze here probably by next month for sure. Things have been a little dry here. Pretty much powder dry. We really need some rain. We're supposed to get some a little bit today. We got a tiny bit this morning, but not enough to do any good. But anyhow, let's get to the Euphorbias. Now today's tour is going to wrap things up. I'm going to show you the last of my Euphorbias. Many will be the small ones inside, so we're not showing a great deal of them in the greenhouse anymore. We've gone over all of them. But this one, I wanted to show you this one. This one I've had about 40 years. And this is Euphoria Melei. And I've kind of made like a tree out of it. You can see I've had those stems all wrapped up there, and it's actually wrapped around like an aluminum rod. That's what holds it up. And then I've got a piece of rebar in the back to really hold it up. But anyhow, if I didn't tie this thing up like this, it'd just ramble all over the place, and I wouldn't really have any room for it. It'd be one of those ones that'd have to restart all the time. But anyway, the story on this one is, when I used to work at a nursery in California, at Live Oak Gardens, this was in the greenhouse, and it's a little bedraggled looking plant. Not much more than about 6 inches tall. And when I asked our boss what they wanted to put on it for a price, they said, "Oh, just take it home. It doesn't look that good." So I did. And this is 40 years later, of course, after doing all the training. And it's done quite well. It's not in bloom right now. It's kind of finished up on flowers. You can see the flowers are dried up. Pretty soon it'll probably be losing a lot of its leaves. This thing's probably a little over 3 feet tall or so, possibly 4. Well, the plant itself is probably 3 feet. Not including the pot. But anyhow, this has kind of been a lifelong plant, so to speak. I've had for a very long time, like a lot of my Euphorbias. The Mondanium's starting to wrap up its flowers. But anyhow, this is what you can do with your Euphoria Melei. This isn't one of the hybrids or anything. This is just a type plant, the species. But if you want to save some room, you can actually train them into a tree and save yourself a lot of space. Now this plant here is a rather special one. This is Euphorbia ABDO. And as many of you know, this one's kind of hard to find. Unless you're living in a big city somewhere like out in California and LA or somewhere like that, where you can probably find a lot of these specialty nurseries. Here, this is something that's really rare to find. I found this at the Yard and Garden Show in Springfield, Missouri, last year. It's done really well this year. See, it has a kind of that almost glazed donut looking appearance. This has grown probably about 3 or 4 inches since I bought it. It's doing really well. This is one of the ones you don't want to water too much. It's a beautiful plant. They're very expensive if you try to go get one. This one cost me about $50. And as I say, it was a little bit shorter. But well worth it to add to my collection. A real great plant. Euphorbia ABDO. See if I can get a little bit closer on the skin there so you can get a look at it. It looks like it's covered in glaze or wax or something like that. Pretty cool. There's also a variegated version of this that's really pink. It looks really cool, but I don't happen to have that one. But Euphorbia ABDO, very cool plant. Now this plant here is not a Euphorbia. It's not within the genus Euphorbia, but it is in the Euphoria Sea. It's had a bit of a rough time. When I put the new roof on my greenhouse, it got kind of burnt up. Lost a lot of its leaves. This is the variegated version. See back here? Has some pink to it. It's a very interesting little plant. Flowers are a bit different. If it was in bloom, I could show you that. I don't really know how to describe them. But I've had this one a while, but as I say, just this summer just kind of got burnt up a bit. And it's just coming back and getting its new leaves. So that's pretty cool. That is a petalanthus. And actually, I think that this is one of the ones they have switched over to the genus Euphorbia now, which they've done with quite a few of the plants in the Euphoria Sea, to confuse us a little bit. Very nice there. And now, I'm going to show you the Euphorbia seedlings and such I got inside, and that'll pretty much wrap up this tour, and a couple of the other Euphorbias I got inside. Oh, Big O. Hello, Big O. Gotta have our video cat. Big O. Now we're inside the house. And this is another Euphorbia decarii of our Spirostitchia that I started. I wanted to kind of use it as a little house plant to throw under my lights. So I got my big one out there. They adapt rather well. It's a really easy plant to grow. I don't know why they're not more popular. It's really a cool plant. Now behind it, I have the dead Euphorbia. Euphorbia platyclada. And this plant has grown really well. I think it's due for a soil change though, as it's been in there more than a couple years. But this plant is in constant bloom all the time. Little flowers on it there. It's never stopped flowering since Daz and Edith sent this to me some years ago, a couple years ago. It's a really cool plant. No, it's not dead. But yeah, it's always got little flowers all over it. Really neat. Now this Euphorbia that's next to it is a monodenium, and this is a monodenium neorubella, and it grows from a caudex here. See this really cool caudex. And that has grown really well over the years, but right now it's kind of in a holding, kind of in a lull, because the soil started to basically go sour. And what I mean by that, the soil gets used up, all the nutrients get used up by the plant, and then the plant just starts showing signs of not doing too well. So I repotted it last week, put new soil in it. Not a new pot, but just the soil, changed it all out. I'm just waiting for a few more days to water it, and that should set it back on its course again. This plant was real easy to grow. Never a problem, right up until now, and I pretty much figured it out. The growth had just kind of stopped on it, lost some of its leaves, stopped flowering. So I figured, yeah, this soil needs some change after this long, and that's what I'm going to do to this platyclada also, is change that soil because it was planted at the same time. So that may be a weekend project. I may go ahead and replant the platyclada and re-soil it, basically, not so much repot it as to re-soil it. But anyway, they cleaned off a lot of the old soil and everything. Another thing that happens with this old soil is you get this kind of sulfur-looking mold in it. It doesn't seem to attach itself to the plant. It doesn't really make a difference as far as the plant itself, but it does show that your soil needs some changing. And it's probably a good idea to change that old sour soil. And it'll have a certain smell to it too. It'll have that moldy smell. Now this here is my Euphorbia hybrid X4. This is X4, and what this is a hybrid of Euphorbia McGuffin, I use as a father, and Euphorbia mammillaris variegata. And the Euphorbia McGuffin is actually a three-way hybrid of plurifolia, clava, and heptagona. But anyway, the hybrid between the Mammillaris and that looks nothing like either one of them, or any of them for that matter. Really a different looking little plant, tiny little leaves on it, not like the MacGuffin, which has long leaves. A very curious looking little plant, looks nothing like either of the parents. A very curious little plant. I can't wait to see it grow on and see how it morphs and changes as it goes on. Now these here are a hybrid of Euphorbia opuntoides and Euphorbia enormis. I've had them going for a few years now. There's several seedlings in there. Pretty cool. It doesn't look too much different than the opuntoides though, really. But a pretty cool Euphorbia. Now these are my Medusa hybrids. These are hybrids between Euphorbia gorgonis and mini Medusa hybrid for Botanical Wonders that I showed earlier on in the tours. Most of them are doing pretty good, but this one's having problems. I'm not sure why it's doing this. This one had the longest branches of all of them. It really had long branches, but as it progressed, they start kind of shortened up. But the branch has been dying off rather rapidly. I've been keeping a good eye on this. I'm not sure what's causing it. I did spray it for spider mites just in case. So I noticed some of my cactus here had them. I like this one a lot. This one's got the little short, stubby branches on it. Big old fat head. Really cool looking. A couple of the other ones getting yellowed out a little bit too. So I'm not sure on that. The soil shouldn't need changing by now. But hopefully this will come out of it. All the others are actually doing pretty good. Now these seedlings are Euphorbia seedlings, mystery seedlings from Alan Peck. He said his Euphorbias were pollinated outside by pollinators, so no telling what we're going to get here. But this is a total experiment he and I are doing just to see what these Euphorbias will come out like and how different they will change. Now I've got some here, and you can see there's a lot of tags there. I'm still holding out to see if any seeds pop up. I may be putting these into a smaller pot though soon because it does take up so much area. But the one over here is this. And then the second one in line, Horrida obesa, and then cross back to hit Horrida obesa. Then the other one here is a Polygona gabazan, Polygona snowflake gabazan hybrid, hybridized with a Horrida obesa hybrid. And we got that going here. And these are obesa anoplia, or rather anoplia obesa hybrids. They're doing rather well. This is Euphorbia fruticosa. I got this as a little seedling plant. It was really short. It was only about down to here. But last year in Springfield at Wickman Gardens, when I bought that little Monodenium richii, my other part of the tour, it's grown really great under lights. It's got all kinds of branches on it now. It's a lot taller, done really well. This one here is a hybrid. I call this Little Debbie. I named it after my wife. And this is a Euphorbia seriformis and Polygona snowflake hybrid. Now the reason it's got some scabbiness on it is I dropped something on it. I had a whole bowl of these different hybrids and I ended up dropping another pot on it by accident, and so it kind of scarred them up. But they should grow out of that and they'll be all right. This one I call Euphorbia frozen. And this one is a hybrid of the Polygona snowflake crossed with a Horrida striata. So you can kind of see that cool striping it's got in there. That's from the striata, along with the heavier farina of the snowflake. Whoops. Very cool. Like that one. This one is a little Euphorbia melliformis variegata. I ordered it last year. It's doing pretty good. Can't wait to see this grow out some more. Maybe produce some offsets. That'd be really cool. A really nice little plant. Now this is a Euphorbia stellata crossed with a Euphorbia graniwaldii. So you can see that little twist in there. The Granny Walleye has a lot of twist. It's a really slow grower. I haven't had a lot of growth coming from this. It's a few years old. It's got a little bit of new growth on that branch there. I'm hoping to see some more branches come out of the caudex. You see that little caudex down there? Both the stellata and the Granny Walleye have caudexes. But an interesting little guy. I can't wait to see it grow some more. And these, I actually picked out. These are not my hybrids. I picked out of my Euphorbia horrida and polygona hybrid I got from Walmart. And you see the variation. A very green one with some farina on it, and one with a lot of farina on it, and they vary in the number of ribs also. This one seems to be the most progressive grower. It really grows a lot. They're all the same age. Really cool. And for my last one, this is also a Medusa hybrid, and it's crossed back the other way. Instead of the Gorgonus being the mother, the Gorgonus was the father on this one, and the mini Medusa was a mother on this one, whereas Gorgonus was the mother for these, and the mini Medusa was the father for those. But a nice little guy. It's got a couple of little dead branches on it, but overall it's doing pretty good. Anyhow, that's it for my Euphorbia tour. I hope you enjoyed the whole tour that I've had here, all 5 parts. I really enjoy growing these guys, really cool. If you haven't ever tried Euphorbias, try one. They're really great. They're awesome plants, and I guarantee you'll become addicted. Anyway, this is Clyde Morris from Morris Park. I hope you have a great day. Take care, and have a good weekend.